Okay, it's Monday, February the 7th at 5 o'clock, and we'd like to welcome everyone to our City Council meeting today. We'll go ahead and we'll call this meeting to order, and if everyone would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Deb.
Don.
Here.
Jody. Here. Harley.
Here.
Brad.
Here.
Rodney.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Entertain a motion then to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Harley, a second from Don. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Deb.
Don.
Yes.
Jody. Yes. Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Motion carried. Across the mayor's desk, I'd like to thank Shay Tilgis, our videographer, this afternoon. And we do have a thank you from Jerry Helmers and the POW committee expressing their appreciation to the City Council as well as the Airport Commission for allowing them to place the POW marker out at its original site at the airport. So that's a nice addition out there, certainly. So. And then, just sort of a recap of the community events that happened over the weekend. Just want to thank everyone who participated with the Algona Chamber of Commerce's annual Frostbite Olympics that started Thursday with a Kiwanis Chili Cook-Off night, and then followed by trivia, and that was at the VFW. And I think Bernie and Gary Merrill won that trivia again. So congratulations. I think there were 27 teams that showed up to play the trivia. So, and their chamber, I think, is going to host that again on March the 3rd. Saturday morning was cold, but there was a group that braved the cold to participate in the fishing contest out at Smith Lake. And Hormel donated packages of pepperoni for the participants. And then Saturday night, the chamber hosted a new event at the VFW called Game On. And that featured cards, games, bags, and music from Mojo Productions. Attendees enjoyed playing Hokey Pokey, the chicken dance, and a rousing game of musical chairs. So, sounded like a fun weekend in February. So, anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Okay, hearing none, we'll ask Jacob for a city administrator's update.
Well, I'd like to invite Joanne Bodie to come up quick for two announcements.
What's the second announcement?
The Parks and Rec quarterly update. I'll let you do that since you designed it.
Oh, sure. So we've got to talking about those big kiosks, ones that's located around on the trail, on the bike trail, and the other one that's in Teets Park. And we thought, there's some information there. It'd gotten a little out of date. Some of it was a little crumbly and crusty, so we removed that, and we're going to put a quarterly update of some of the Parks and Recs goings on. So you can see this was the first one that went up, talking about our walking club, our youth basketball, which the deadline for that is today. If you're sitting on that and trying to decide whether to do it, you could still get in. One of our programs for the winter, before it snowed, we didn't have any snow, so we said, well, let's do a sidewalk chalk contest, and as soon as we said that, it snowed a lot, so maybe we should have said nothing. But just some little tidbits from Parks and Rec, so we'll be changing that 4 times a year, and hopefully if people are out walking or out and about, they'll see that. We also put some copies in the Welcome Center, so that is one of our new things, trying to just make sure people are seeing that content and make it easy for people to find. And we didn't want to put so much that people would get back to their house and think, oh, I saw that, but now I can't remember how I'm supposed to sign up. So we put those QR codes on there, so a lot of people, when they walk, they do have their phone in their pocket, and they can just scan that, and it'll come right up on their phone. So we tried to make it easy for people. So that's the first update. The second thing we want to talk about is the Community Visioning Project. So Algona was chosen as one of the communities to be involved in community visioning. Some of you are on that steering committee, so I hope it sounds familiar to some of you. But it also involves Iowa State University, Trees Forever, and our local Trees Forever coordinator, Jeff Jensen, private landscape architects, and then our local steering committee are working together on that project. And it kind of, community vision provides us a tested structure for how to go through and gather community input and develop a community transportation enhancement plan, and that's a really fun thing to say fast a lot of times, a lot of words, but it's really kind of using our landscape and making the most of what's already here to improve transportation, and not just the driving kind, also the foot traffic kind. So walking, riding your bike, running, however else you move about town, trying to improve that for everyone by making some landscape changes. So that has begun. We met in November for a kickoff. A survey has gone out all around the community, and the goal is to get 100 back, and Algona's sent back. We've had 96 respondents. And so I guess we're the most successful respondent community so far. We're not the only ones going through it. So good job, Algonans. You did a great job. But we'd love to have a few more. So if you got a survey in the mail, and it looks lengthy, but there's not that many questions, fill that out, pop it in the mail, and take it back. After that, we'll be doing, at the end of February here, some focus groups to kind of look at a map of Algona and get some more opinions. So we're looking for 4 specific groups to participate in that. One of those groups is if you are low mobility, or if you're even mobility impaired, if you have a hard time moving around, we want to hear from you. There'll be a group for that at 9 o'clock on the 26th. If you're an older adult, which we're calling 65 plus, so if you're 65 plus and interested in participating, we'd like you to join us that morning at 9. If you are a parent or have a family here in the community, we'd like you to come at 10 o'clock, or if you're what they call an active recreationist, somebody who gets out there and uses the trails or is walking and biking, we'd love you to come. So you can learn more at communityvisioning.org. That's where you can go to see what sorts of things Algona has going, what sorts of projects other communities have done, like Emmitsburg just went through this recently, and they have some examples. And you can sign up right there and register to take part in focus groups. But it's a long process, but a lot of good things to come out of it. So we're looking forward to see what happens next. Any questions for me? Great, thank you.
Thanks, Joanne.
I'm community visioning. It's a year-long process, and the first half of the year is doing a lot of data collection and analysis of our assets and needs, and then in the summer and early fall, getting to kind of the fun part where we're identifying projects and working with landscape architects and coming up with renderings and things like that. So there'll be plenty of opportunity for public input as we go through this throughout the year, and then if anyone's interested in the process or like to have their name down, if we need input from people or at focus group participants, things like that, they can contact Joanne. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 7. This is the citizens' opportunity to address the council with any item that's not on tonight's agenda. Is there anyone here in the council chambers that would like to speak? Seeing none, is there anyone on the phone?
There's one person on the phone, but they're not indicating about speaking.
Okay. We'll move into agenda item number 8. That's the consent agenda, and that includes approving the minutes from our January 17th work session and regular city council meeting that evening. The minutes from the January 24th special city council meeting that we had, approving a Class C liquor license to Billy Joe's, approving the bills to be paid this cycle, and approve Jacob's administrator's report.
Move to approve.
We have a motion from Harley, a second from Tyler. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Motion carried. Thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 9, which is a public hearing. It's 5:09, and we'll go ahead and we'll open that public hearing. And this pertains to an issuance of a sewer revenue capital loan note.
Yeah, so the city is proposing to issue debt up to $1,120,000 for the planning and design of the wastewater construction project. The intent is to finance the project through the State Revolving Loan Fund, or SRF. Under that program, we can obtain a planning and design loan at 0% interest for up to 3 years. And then once the project is approved and ready to move forward with construction, that P&D loan can be wrapped into a construction loan for the totality of the project, and we start paying it when we're wrapped up. So this public hearing just pertains to the proposed issuance of that loan again, not to exceed $1,120,000. We have not received any comments here at City Hall regarding the notice.
Okay. No one else would like to speak then? It's 5:11, and we'll go ahead and we'll close that public hearing then for agenda item number 9. And it's 5:11, and we'll open the public hearing then for agenda item number 10. This pertains to 17 East State Street.
Got a couple guests here with us. Jesse Williams from North Iowa Area Council of Governments, NICOG, is working with the grant writer and administrator on these two grant applications that we have here later on the agenda. So Jesse, you want to? Sure. Now I'm up and take over.
Hello, my name is Jesse Williston. I represent NICOG. You're probably familiar with NICOG because you were awarded a separate Cdbg for housing rehabilitation a couple months ago. So should be at least familiar with what Cdbg is. And I'm trying to think, I believe it was December of 2021. The state of Iowa had made available Cdbg COVID money in the amount of $21 million, and that is a first come, first serve pool of money. And there is still, I haven't checked as of like today or anything, but the last I checked, there's probably at least half that amount still available. So as long as we're very diligent in getting this approved tonight and then getting the application submitted in the next couple of weeks after we get all the necessary documents, we should be good to go. That's kind of a comment based on both the applications. This would be the first time I've ever actually had a hearing or two hearings where there was two applications, so that has kind of thrown me off a little bit. So this one is for Team BD, and we have Shannon here that can answer any specific questions like directly related to the project. If you might have any questions about project design, he might be a little bit more appropriate to ask that sort of question. There is a specific set of criteria that has to be in the minutes and that has to be addressed in the hearing to follow state regulations, or probably more specifically HUD regulations on the federal level. There's a specific list of questions I have to read through, like a question and answer. So the first question is how the need for the activities was identified. And the need for creation of new rental housing was identified in previous research and study of Algona's housing climate. And again, like I'd said, Algona had received a Cdbg, and they went through what was called the Community Development Housing Needs Assessment probably about 6 months ago, so that's where the need was identified for rental housing. How the proposed activities will be funded in the source of funds. The activities will be funded by a federally funded program called the Community Development Block Grant Coronavirus Grant. The Iowa Economic Development Authority coordinates these funds for the state of Iowa and makes them available to cities through the Housing Conversion Program. The project will also be funded by the developer and owner, Team BD Properties, LLC. Date the application will be submitted. The application will be submitted on or before February 21, 2022. Requested amount of federal funds. The requested amount of federal funding is $500,000. The estimated portion of federal funds that will benefit low and moderate income persons. A minimum of 70% of all Cdbg coronavirus funds must benefit low to moderate income persons. The total budgeted cost of the project is estimated at $971,492 for 3 apartments. Cost of $471,492 in excess of the grant shall be financed by Team BD Properties LLC, and $500,000 of the project shall be funded by Cdbg CV grant funds. At least 2 of the 3 apartments will be rented to households with low to moderate income, so approximately 100% of the grant funding received will be used to benefit low to moderate income persons at 80% of the area median income. For example, the maximum income for new occupants in a 2-person household would currently be $46,000. Where the proposed activities will be conducted. The proposed activities will be conducted on the second floor of 17 East State Street, Algona, Iowa. Plans to minimize displacement of persons and businesses resulting of funded activities. This space is currently unoccupied, so no persons will be temporarily displaced as a result of the program. Plans to assist persons actually displaced. The space is currently unoccupied, so no persons will be permanently displaced as a result of this program. The nature of the proposed activities. The proposed activities will include development of 3 apartments on the second floor of the downtown Commonwealth building located at 17 East State Street in Algona, Iowa. And just so there's clarification, since this project is totaled at $971,492,000, that is why they don't have to do LMI for all 3, because they're financing $471,492 in excess of the $500,000, so they're able to have one rental unit that's market rate. Other than if you wanted to ask for public comment, did you have any specific questions for me?
Don't think so.
The city, we have not received any comments here at City Hall. Sharon, would you like to come up and just kind of provide an overview of your vision? I think that would be interesting to hear. I'm not sure if I'm interested.
All right, yeah, I guess on top of what Jesse just said, I don't have a lot to add. So the building would be 17 East State Street. It's currently owned by Bill Farnham. We have a signed agreement to purchase the property from Bill Farnham contingent on the receiving the grant from the state of Iowa. Other than that, I mean, we've got our architect plans, we've got blueprints, everything. Our goal would be to put 3 units in the upstairs, starting with the front of the building and working our way back. We have enough space up there, we believe, for a total of 5 if funds and the need is available. There's also some question as if an elevator is needed once you get above 3 units, I believe. So that's a consideration of ours also. I guess I'm open to any questions. Our architect is Bergman Cram in Mason City. That's who's done the drawings. I believe Shane is also, is that right, Shane? Okay.
As far as, now that we see the building there, you are going to put windows in the front that'll be architecturally
Correct.
compatible?
Yeah, so part of the building code or whatever, in order to have housing, you'll need windows in order to get out, obviously. So I think the plan is that all 4 of those hold the 2 beer ones, because those are Peps. But the 4 in the front, and then there's windows all over the side. I think there's windows behind there. I think they were all covered at some point. I don't know that exactly. So yeah, those windows there have since been covered in the alley. So there's actually skylights, is my understanding, that have been covered that would be uncovered, obviously, during the renovation. So there's about 6,400 square feet, I believe, on the top level that we'd be using.
Now, the amount of money sounds like a lot, but actually it rolls in the purchase price of the property too, doesn't it?
Correct. Yeah, that's including everything. That's including NIACOG's fee, Bergman Cram's fee, the purchase price of the building. Yeah, everything. Correct.
So with the windows going on the front, are you doing anything else to kind of reface the building? And
I don't believe so, and I believe Jesse can answer this. I don't think the funds can be used for anything exterior. I think it has to be interior. Is that
Yeah, the
correct?
primary, you want me to stand up there? Well, the primary focus is interior. There is kind of some little ifs and buts in there. For example, if it's related to code enforcement or building codes, like you mentioned, the windows requirements, so that would trigger the necessity that you could go after some exterior funding for that. So it has to relate to code enforcement, but it's not really specifically targeted for exterior.
Yeah. I think it's great. I was in this building when Bill bought it. Right before he bought it, I was upstairs touring it. So it's such a cool space that I'm just glad somebody's finally gonna do something with it.
Yeah, I think when done, it should be some pretty amazing units.
Cool.
Is there a time frame then, once you're awarded, that it has to be completed?
Okay, we would anticipate February 21 submittal, and then, this is a guess. The state, the state, they make the rules, gotta keep that in mind. I would anticipate a month or less response back from that. And then there is historic clearance and environmental review after that, so there is some things you'll have to be patient on, because, just so you're aware of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a negative, it's a positive. I mean, you want it to be historically accurate, and you want to make sure it passes the environmental review process.
Okay.
So,
I'm just trying to remember, where's the access to this? Is it over by Peps?
To get upstairs, there's actually a stairwell that's right between Peps and this building. Those two Hawkeyes,
Oh, okay.
as should be, are the access. Sorry, are the access to the upstairs. And actually, right now, it's a joint hallway between Peps, its upper level, and this building. There would need to be a wall put up once you get to the top of the stairs there, because you can walk right down the same hallway of the upper level of Peps right now.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Other
That
questions?
was great.
All right, thanks.
Any other comments then? It's 5:22 and we will close the public hearing then for 17 East State Street. And it's now 5:23 and we will open the public hearing pertaining to 307 East State Street.
all right, some of this is going to sound repetitive. Jesse Willardson with Nyakog. And there's a pool of $21 million for Cdbg COVID money, and so now here we are. So as part of the hearing requirements for HUD, we have to go through a specific set of criteria and to go through the questions that the state wants us to address in order to receive the Cdbg funds. So, and then kind of there again, I'll probably let Shane answer any questions if there's any specific questions about like architectural design. But anything financial, I'd be happy to answer. So the first question is, how was the need for the activities was identified? And there again, Algona went through for the previous CDBG that they were awarded, a community development and housing needs assessment. And so the need for creation of new rental housing was identified in previous research and study of Algona's housing climate. How the proposed activity will be funded and the source of funds. The activity will be funded by a federally funded program called the Community Development Block Grant, Coronavirus Grant. The Iowa Economic Development Authority coordinates these funds for the state of Iowa and makes them available to cities through the Housing Conversion Program. The project will also be funded by the developer, TAFE Properties, and Shane is here to represent them. Date the CDBG application will be submitted. The application will be submitted on or before February 21st, 2022. The requested amount of federal funds. The requested amount of federal funding is $420,668. Just a sidebar, the reason for that number is a 20% match is required, and that's why there's such a very specific number there that's not rounded. Estimated portion of federal funds that will benefit low and moderate income persons. 2 rental units shall be constructed as part of the project, and both will be rented to households with low to moderate income. So 100% of funding received will be used to benefit low and moderate income persons at 80% of the area median income. For example, the maximum income for new occupants in a 2-person household would currently be $46,000. Where the proposed activities will be conducted. The proposed activities will be conducted on the 2nd floor of 307 East State Street in Algona, Iowa. Plans to minimize displacement of persons and businesses resulting of funded activities. This space is currently unoccupied, so no persons will be temporarily displaced as a result of the program. Plans to assist persons actually displaced. This space is currently unoccupied, so no persons will be permanently displaced as a result of this program. The nature of the proposed activities. The proposed activities will include development of 2 apartments on the 2nd floor of the downtown Common Wall building located at 307 East State Street in Algona, Iowa. Is there any other specific questions that you might have of me, either the council or public? Or?
It gives the example of 2 people moving into an apartment, it'd be 46,000 would be their maximum income. Is that the only way it limits it, or is the rent limited also?
Yes, there is rent limits also, so there is a cap on the how much the rent can be. There is a rent limit, so to speak.
Okay.
And then there's also, if all utilities are included, there's a number for that. And then if the landlord's gonna charge utilities, then there's like another number that you subtract from that, a utility allowance. So let's say a two bedroom, this is approximate, let's say around $1,000, $1,100, you'd probably subtract around $200 for a utility allowance. So that gets you into like that 900, 800 range. So,
And how long is the owner locked into those rates?
very good question, 3 years. So, only one thing I could add, which I have to go grab my notes, is I could just read off the total budget to kind of explain the rationale of applying for $420,668.
Whatever it takes.
That's the 80%. The other 20% is, I mean, I'd rather not just throw wrong numbers out there. I'll grab my notes quick.
Okay.
No, I'm just happy to see these apartments
projects.
being made available for rent, and these buildings being essentially saved.
Right.
Yeah. It's my opinion that the state, this is the direction they're going. I mean, that's probably more an opinion than a fact, but that's my belief that that's the direction they're heading as far as grant funding. So the total project, this includes like grant administration, construction, real estate purchase, architectural services, and everything, $525,835. And developer 20% match of $105,167. So, I guess I don't think I can think of anything else that I would have forgotten.
Hey there, everybody.
Shane?
This is fun.
I'm
So,
sure you're
I
busy.
think we should probably pull up a picture here in a second. We've kind of had our eye on this building for, I would say, a few years now. Original current owner, known her for a few years now as well too. It's like a dual-fold purpose for us. You know, my profession, you know, as a chiropractor. Don't quote my history specifically on this, but we do believe the original tenant of the building was a chiropractor. Don't know a name for sure. We can find these things out. So it's kind of partially to, you know, maybe, you know, keep the, you know, his name alive as well too, because I think he practiced in there and he lived up top as well too. Not sure if he was the one who built it as well. But also, you know, we come in contact with, you know, clients, patients all the time, you know, of wide demographics, and, you know, it's, you know, no secret that affordable, you know, nice, convenient housing for people is a need around here as well. And so this building just happened to fit the need, you know, and also fit all the requirements that there is, because there's a lot of requirements in order to be able to get this specific funding. You know, undoubtedly it's going to create an amazing project, really. Some very, very nice housing. And beyond the housing, you know, we do have plans for it afterwards as well. The goal as well is to completely remodel kind of the front entrance as well too. Open that up, you know, ideally to create another retail office space at the bottom someday. You cannot work on any of those projects until the top is completed as well. And so whether that's something that's not me personally, potentially my wife with her business as well, maybe move to that spot someday, or anybody else here down the road. So blueprints, I'm not sure if that's included, but like Shannon said, Berglund Graham, Andy Meyer, they've already put the blueprints together. 2 apartments up top, split in half here. You can tell if you've ever been up there, maybe a few people have, beautiful views. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful apartment creation. You said the 2 apartments, what else we got here? Harley had a question as well too. Put the facade on the side there. If everybody's ever been in that parking lot before, obviously it's going to be a goal one way or another to clean that up, one way, shape or form, whether it's, re-siding or repurposing, new color. I always kind of thought it'd be a cool idea if I think we put a mural on another building in town here that we did, if we maybe did something similar with that as well too, but all in time. So you can see the front of the building too, that the door on the left side there, that would be access for the apartment that is south facing. And then there are stairs all the way to the back of the building that would provide access for the rear facing apartment there. So every people would have their own separate access to the building as well. Any other questions?
The only other comment I might make is just so everybody understands both these projects that they're per Cdbg requirements. They can't really do any of the other ideas like the commercial stuff until the housing part's closed out. So just for the minutes, I just wanted to make sure that was completely understood.
Thanks for working on this, Shane. That's
Yeah.
another good project to have.
Yeah.
So appreciate it because
Thank you.
it does
Thank you.
great things.
Any other public comment? Okay, hearing none, it's 5:33 and we will close that public hearing then pertaining to 307 East State Street.
I just want to make a quick note. So on both of these projects, because it's Cdbg funds, federal allocated to state and the state administers through grants, the city is the actual applicant. And that's why we have to go through this process and we have to approve them. And then we'd have a sub-grant agreement with the developers. Doesn't obligate us to any sort of financial obligation or anything like that at this point, or necessarily in the future. But we're ultimately the recipient, so there will be coordination with the project and making sure it meets all the federal requirements, which are quite burdensome when it comes to these types of monies. But ultimately, will be two should be really great projects.
Good. Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 12, which is also a public hearing. It's 5:34, and we'll open that public hearing. It's a proposed zoning amendment.
This was published. It was on the proposed rezoning of 508 and 504 East McGregor. Rezoning those from single-family to multi-family properties. Or if you provide additional detail and if we received any comments.
I've not received any comments. Oh, let me rephrase that. I did receive a written letter from John Jennings, who is the owner of the property at 504 East McGregor, asking that his property not be rezoned. So the board, planning and zoning took that into account when they made their decision, and we'll discuss that a little bit later in the agenda.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, hearing none, it's 5:35 and we'll close that public hearing. We will move then to new business, agenda item number 13. This is an ordinance amending city code.
This ordinance changes the side yard setbacks for light manufacturing and heavy manufacturing from minimum side yard of 0 feet to 10 feet. All the other setbacks, as well as the exceptions for the type of property abutting it, are unchanged. This is the second reading.
Move to waive the second reading.
We have a motion from Harley, second from Tyler to waive the second reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Motion carried.
Move to approve the second reading.
Have a motion from Harley, second from Tyler to approve the second reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Motion carried. Agenda item number 14, this is an ordinance pertaining to wards and precincts.
So this will sound familiar, but it's an ordinance amendment establishing our wards and precincts. After we had gone through all this, when the state was doing their final review, they asked us to add a couple words which were new to our ordinance language. So we're proposing to do all three readings in tonight's ordinance. And then the state's already provided us with a letter of approval pending this. So the only thing that's changed from what was previously approved is this first sentence in what was added is, and each ward shall consist of one precinct. Wanted that in there, so otherwise it's the exact same thing, we have shown on the map there.
So do we have to motion to waive each reading tonight?
Waive one, two.
Okay, can we waive all three or one at a time?
Well, go with the first
Okay,
one first.
I'd make a
Second.
motion then to waive the first reading.
There you go.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion from Rodney, second from Jody. Any discussion? Roll call please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried to waive that first
So
reading.
do we approve the first reading?
Yes.
Motion to approve the first reading.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Rodney, a second from Jody to approve that first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Now,
Now we waive the second, third.
okay, I make a motion that waive the second and third reading.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Rodney and a second from Jody to waive the second and the third reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Then a motion to approve the second and third readings.
And I'll second.
We have a motion from Rodney, second from Jody to approve the second and third readings. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Now we make a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Correct.
Make a motion to adopt the ordinance.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Rodney and a second from Jody to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Got through it.
Good
Jen-
job, everybody.
Thank you. Agenda item number 15, this is an ordinance amending the zoning map.
This ordinance proposes to change the zoning of the property at 508 East McGregor from RS60 to RM2, so it's single family and multifamily. Will appear on the map.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
So it is this property right here. See, we've got RM1, RM2, and RM4 in areas adjacent. Or we want to discuss any of the other items brought up by P&Z?
They analyzed it, they thought it was in conjunction with the city's plan, because it's staying residential, it's just making it a property that can have up to 4 units instead of a duplex. They analyzed if it was spot zoning, they consulted the city attorney. Paul did not feel it was spot zoning since we have other areas in that area that are multifamily residential.
So P and Z is recommending to move to
They
that.
are recommending approval of only 508.
Of only
They
508.
took 504 East McGregor off the consideration.
Okay.
Because that's the one the property owner
That's
no
the one
longer.
John Jennings asked for to be left alone.
Okay.
In motion, we approve the ordinance amending the zoning for 508 East McGregor Street. Waive the first, reading, right? With that?
We need to waive the first reading.
Yes, waive the first reading.
Second.
We have a motion from Rodney, second from Brad to waive that first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harlan?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Then motion to approve the first reading, right?
Second.
Yeah. Okay.
We have a motion and a second to approve the first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harlan?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Agenda item number 16 is an ordinance vacating a portion of 100th Avenue.
We held this public hearing on this at a special joint meeting of the Board of Supervisors and City Council a couple weeks ago. This is 100th Avenue out east of the airport. We need to vacate the roads necessary for the planned runway extension. So this would vacate the city's portion of the road that falls within the city limits. The plan is that the county will vacate their portion as well, and then there will be two dead ends on either side with the turnaround large enough to facilitate like snow plows and things like that.
It is on the Board of Supervisors' agenda, or it's supposed to be for them to pass that. They do theirs by resolution, and it's on their agenda to pass the resolution tomorrow. And P&Z discussed it, and they are recommending approval of vacating the 100 feet of 100 Avenue.
I'll make a motion to waive the first reading.
Second.
We have a motion from Brad, a second from Don to waive that first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harlan?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the first reading. Second.
We have a motion from Brad, second from Don to approve the first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harlan?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 17 is a resolution concerning the city's wastewater treatment system.
This resolution approves issuance of the sewer capital reserve note not to exceed $1,120,000 for the wastewater treatment upgrade that we had the public hearing on earlier today. So this will resolution approves the proceedings and gives direction to the city clerk to complete the loan transaction. This will be paid off with future sewer revenues from users.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
A motion from Harley, second from Jody. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harlan?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Agenda item number 18 is a resolution concerning 17 East State Street.
Resolution approves the Cdbg Coronavirus application as well as Beautification with benefits policy and related application documents for the submission of the grant application for redevelopment of upper-story housing at 17 East State Street. Cdbg Properties LLC as the developer.
Move to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion from Don, a second from Tyler. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 19, this is a resolution concerning 307 East State Street.
Same thing, approves the application as well as duplication of benefit policy and other related application documents for application to develop 307 East State Street with upper story housing, with the development being Take Properties LLC.
Move to approve. Or second.
We have a motion from Don, second from Rodney. Any discussion?
Only to say again that I
Yeah.
am happy to see these developing, and I think they really are gonna help fill a need in the area.
Good. Okay, vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried. And agenda item number 20 pertains to a satisfaction of a mortgage.
Carol Bodie had obtained a down payment assistance loan from the city back in 2004. The loan has been paid in full, so the city is to release the mortgage. This resolution proves that.
Move to release the mortgage.
Second.
We have a motion from Harley, second from Don. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. And thank you, Carol, for repaying that loan. Agenda item number 21 pertains to setting a public hearing for property tax levies.
So this is the maximum hearing, public hearing notice that we have to set, that we discussed in the work session. So this is the third year that the law is in effect, but this is a new reporting department of the state. So this is setting the maximum levy value for certain levies in the city. So it is based on the proposed budget, the tax levy rate for the identified levies would be 13.3939, which represents a 2.8% decrease in revenues from those levies. The city's debt service levy is not included on here. So it's proposed that we hold this public hearing on February 21st at 5 p.m.
Motion to approve. Setting the date for February 21st.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Rodney, second from Jody, to set this public hearing for February 21st at 5 p.m. here at City Hall. Any discussion? Roll call, Deb?
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Motion carried. Agenda item number 22 is a pay application.
This approves pay application number 7 from Sand Construction, in the amount of $35,951.27. Most of the work has been for the sheet metal roofing, as well as siding and window work and mechanical. The project, we're hoping the interior will be substantially completed here by the end of the month. The big delay in the project is going to be until we get to warm up and we can address the staining issues on the block here this spring. So the architect has reviewed and recommends approval.
Move to approve the pay application.
We have a motion from Don, second from Tyler, to approve this pay application. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 23 is another pay application.
This is pay application number 3 for the 2-stall hangar extension project out of the airport. The amount due is $256,019.59. The engineer has reviewed and recommends approval.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion from Rodney, second from Don, to approve this pay application for the hangar. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried. And agenda item number 24 pertains to 12 applications for tax abatement.
So these are due to the city by February 1st of each year. We have to have them in the county by March 1st, following the year of construction. So bunch of them coming in here this time of year. Review of the 12 applications, they all appear to be within the urban revitalization area and recommend approval.
Can they be approved en masse?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, I would move to approve them then.
Second.
We have a motion from Harley, second from Brad. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Alan?
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Motion carried. Thank you. A lot of progress being made in Algona, short period of time there. It's great. Agenda item number 23, this is the second notification of vacancy and future appointment to the Housing Commission due to the passing of Craig Myers, and this is a mayoral appointment. And I'm working on that. I believe I have a name or two. Agenda item number 26, this is also a second notification of vacancy and future appointment in the Planning and Zoning Commission. Chris Lucas has resigned, and this is a council appointment. Agenda item number 27 is also a second notification of term expiring and future appointment to the Tree Board. This is a council appointment. Lyle Prunty's term on the Tree Board did expire at the end of last year, 2021.
So we don't know if he wants to we just need to maybe ask
Right.
him.
When Lyle, his appointment dates actually staggered from the others, because we reset the board here a year or so ago. At that time, he said he only wanted to stay for 1 year, so it was only.
Okay.
Oh,
So we do need to
okay.
try to find.
So we need to
okay.
find a new one. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And agenda item number 28, this is the first notification of vacancy and future appointment to the Library Board of Trustees. This is a mayoral appointment, and I have been visiting with Lori Walton about a replacement for Dave. And agenda item number 29, this is a first notification of vacancy and future appointment to the Board of Adjustment. Jim Busher's term on the Board of Adjustment just expired. Jim has served for 17 years on the Board of Adjustment. And looking back, I don't think Jim missed a single meeting. So we certainly appreciate his commitment to that. But we do need to find a replacement now, and that's a council appointment. So, and that moves us to the final item as agenda item number 13. This involves a closed session to discuss strategy for upcoming union negotiations. This is in accordance with Iowa Code Section 20.17.3. So I would entertain a motion to enter into closed session.
So moved.
We have a motion from Donna, second from Tyler. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Yes.
Jody? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. It's 5:54 and we'll enter into closed session at this time. So thank you very much, everyone.